I think that this Hell House movie has some of the best examples of an exercise in restraint in a lot of the scares that you have in the movie. You really know how to pace, you really know how to take its time. So when the scares do hit, they do so at like a high impact. There are numerous times where they make this old horror hound jump out of my seat. You know, I mean that in most sincere and thankful ways imaginable. Where do you, when it comes to the pacing of a scene, like for example, I don't want to give away too much, but there is a scene in the movie, or a couple of them, where you kind of just focus on the door frame and you just in there, it's a creaking of floorboards that kind of lifts up the tension and more and more. Where does that kind of reveal itself to you creatively? Is that something that happens on the page, or is that something that happens in post with editing and sound effects and such? Where does the magic come together for a scare for one of your movies?
Yeah, I mean, all those things like the creaking of the floorboards, like a knock on the door, like to me, that's just really creepy. Like I love that stuff. Things that you hear, it feels real. That feels like something that can happen
Yeah.
in real life. So it's different from like some monster chasing you, which is like it's scary, but that's like, but you know, it's fiction. But like something that we can all relate to are just the little things that just creep us out in the middle of the night, hearing a footstep or, and I love that kind of stuff. And to me, like some of my favorite things to do in this movie were those little, like just like that knock at the door, because it's so subtle, but the unknown of what's on the other side of the door, I think, is so terrifying. And hearing those footsteps as walk down the hallway, it's great. I mean, obviously the sounds are built in post production though, but the whole thing is planned out beforehand. And I got some inspiration from that. I Have you ever heard of like I think it's called like one sentence horror stories?
I think so. Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're so much fun to read. And I remember one of them, like I read this years ago, and I thought it always gave me the chills. Was the last man in the world is alone in a room, and there's a knock at the door, and that's just like chilling. And so because there shouldn't be, if he's the last man in the world, it's like, you know, kind of like a I Am Legend kind of scenario. But there's a knock at the door. Like, who could that be? Why could that be? All that stuff. So just something as subtle as that can be scary. And I love playing into something, trying to be as minimal as you can, but scary. I think is a fun challenge to do. Not overdo anything. You know, at any moment, any of these clowns that we see in the film, like, you know, they could be doing so much more than they are. But I think it's great that they're not. And that goes back to the original Hell House when they're walking down the stairs, when Paul sees the clown at the bottom of the stairs in the middle of the night and they just walk down to it. That clown could have done anything, and I would have gotten a cheap thrill out of that from the audience if the clown just like moved a little bit. But that would have, I think that would have ruined the rest of everything else, the momentum that you're trying to set up. So I just love less is more, I think, when it comes to all that stuff.
Thank you for watching the Matt's Movie Reviews channel. Please subscribe for more reviews, podcast interviews, and exclusive content.